So the initial term was Poka-Yoke, which means foolproofing, but the term was considered to be dishonorable and insulting in certain connotations. We Americans use a similar term, idiot-proofing, but that doesn't seem to bother us. Greetings, I'm Dr. Will, and welcome to Dr. Will's Software Quality Channel, where we help to raise the quality of software being developed today. Poka-Yoke is a Japanese term. It means mistake-proofing, literally means avoiding inadvertent errors. And it's the use of an automatic device or method that either makes it impossible for an error to occur, or if an error occurs, to make it immediately obvious that it has occurred. If you've already subscribed to the channel, well, thank you. And if you haven't, then you'd like to, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell in order to be notified of future content. There are a couple of different times when this operates in software. There are a couple of different ways where Poka-Yoke applies to software. First, in the software development lifecycle, you can apply it to the lifecycle itself in order to avoid mistakes during the development of the software. That way you hope to produce a higher quality product at the end. The other way is within the product itself. Once you produce it, you want to make it difficult or impossible for the end user to make errors. Or if they do make an error and you can't prevent it, you want to let them know that they've made an error and give them a method to correct it. There are different times where this is important. First of all, if there's a process step where a human error can cause mistakes or defects to occur, then you want to apply it. This is especially true when their knowledge, skill, attention, and experience needs to come into play. This would be things like programming, developing requirements, inspecting code, and that sort of thing. At a handoff step in the process, when the output from one worker is passed on to the next, things like moving code from the programmer to QA, from QA to DevOps, that sort of thing. It's especially important when minor errors early on can lead to big mistakes later. For example, getting the requirements wrong to begin with can end up creating the wrong product entirely. In a software product, when a user error can cause errors in the output, in any case where the consequences of an action can be either expensive or dangerous. Depending on the part of the industry you're in, you can see it very explicitly in things like the development of avionics software, where human life and limb are at stake if you get the program wrong. Because it originated as an industrial and manufacturing process, we can be led to believe that it doesn't really apply to software. After all, software is free to manufacture or produce. We don't even put it on physical medium anymore. And the youngest among you are saying, why would anybody do that? But Poka-Yoke is not restricted to manufacturing. In one software system that I'm particularly familiar with, it's not only possible to make a mistake, but the system does not allow you to correct the mistake either, which forces you to hire an expensive consultant who then has to go back into the database and manually, so to speak, correct the data. It's also possible in this software to get into a state where you can't move forward and you can't go back and nothing responds. Basically, you have to force quit the application. We call this an oubliette. So here's the process. First, obtain or create a flowchart of the process. Look at each step, trying to discern at which steps errors may occur. If you're talking about a software product, look at the design document. You do have a design document. For each potential error, track back to find its source. We want to do one of three things here. We want to either eliminate the step that causes the error, replace it with a step that is not error-prone, or make it so much easier to do the right thing than the wrong thing that it's far less likely that the wrong thing will ever happen. If you can't make it impossible for the error to occur, then at least try to minimize its effects. You want to use one of three techniques: inspection methods, setting functions, or regulatory functions. We'll talk about them in more depth in the mini course. The number one challenge you're going to have to overcome with this is, as most of these things, people. There's a certain amount of conscious reflection that's needed in order to make Poka-Yoke work. Note that coding on autopilot perpetuates previous mistakes. If you're writing code that's similar to other code you've written before, you may just be perpetuating the mistakes you made earlier if you haven't learned from them. To recap, Poka-Yoke is one of the highest leverage techniques that can be used in lean management. In fact, it's a way of ensuring quality. Even if you don't have a quality process, by ensuring that errors don't occur in the first place. Poka-Yoke can be implemented in any industry, including software development. It has many benefits, namely helps get work done right the first time. Over time, it makes it more and more difficult to make mistakes, and as Strongbad would say, it's cheap as free. This channel is dedicated to quality, especially quality in software, so if you'd like more content like this, then please hit the subscribe button below and maybe ring the bell so you'll be notified of more content when it becomes available. Also, if you have any comments, questions, issues, concerns, complaints, go ahead and put them in the chat down below and we will entertain them. That's it for me, for you for now. I hope you have a great day and a great week. Be careful out there. I'll be seeing you. Bye.